Hey guys, it's me Hannah. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my November TBR. I have about 5 books picked out. From my October wrap up, I read 9. I always put like a certain amount of books on my TBR, knowing I'll read like most of those. I'm gonna read all of these really, and then some more. So let's go ahead and get started with the video. The first book I plan on reading is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is for my Harry Potter reread. Every month, I'm reading a certain Harry Potter book. This month is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Next month is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, or the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, etc., etc. This is the one where we meet Professor Lupin, we meet the Dementors, we find out more about, James and Lily Potter's past, who their friends were, and shit like that. This is like one of my favorite Harry Potter books, and I just can't wait to reread this. Another book I'm going to be rereading is Warcross by Marie Lu, because Wildcard just came out and I own it, and I remember I tabbed this in the first place, but I don't remember really much about it, so I'm going to be rereading this. And then I'll jump right into Wildcard. So that's technically on my TBR too, but that's all the way up on the top. So yeah, Warcross is about a girl named Amika, and Warcross is a game that they virtually put themselves in, and Amika hacked it, but there was a default and she got shown in the game. So the dude who invented Warcross flew out to Japan. She got added to one of the team, and now she is hired to figure out who is hacking into the game besides, her. I really love this book when I read it in October of last year, and I can't wait to see if I feel the same about it. The third book is gonna finish up a series for me, and that is gonna be Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan. This is the 5th and final book of the Heroes of Olympus, where they fight Gaia, that the demigods and their parents, either with the Roman or Greek side, have to come together to fight the giants, because that's the only way the giants will, finally be dead. And I am so sad to say goodbye to these characters, because then we meet like a whole new bunch of characters in the Trials of Apollo series, which I'm going to start reading in December. But Heroes of Olympus series is basically Hera's trying to get the Greek and Roman demigods together so they can fight against Gaia and put her back to sleep for like a couple thousand years. I love all of them, but they all have like a certain place in my heart. Leo's my favorite. Leo's like my little cupcake. So yeah, I cannot wait to read this. I know it's gonna break my soul. The fourth book I plan on reading is The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, and Maureen Johnson. This is basically like Magnus's like stories throughout the Infernal Device series and the Mortal Instrument series, which I just finished reading, and you have to read this because it's just like, it's Magnus. Who doesn't love him? And so after this, I'll finally be able to read Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy. But this is just like a shit ton of stories of Magnus Bane, it goes back to like Will Herondale, when Will Herondale and Teresa Gray have children, and him with Alec, and maybe we'll get a story about him meeting Claire for the first time. And I cannot wait to read this. I love Magnus Bane. And then the 5th book before I go into my TBR jar that I'm going to read is for another reread. And I stopped reading at this book, and that is going to be Hera Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 3rd book in the Throne of Glass series. See how big this chunker is? The way I set up my things by reading her big book is 100 pages a day. So, in this book, there is 500 and... how many pages? 562 pages. So 100 pages or more, like 120 pages a day, and I'll be done soon. So like the first day I read up to chapter 16. The next day I read up to chapter 17, and I tab it along when I see fit. I stopped reading at this point. I don't know why. Oh, because I really didn't like Rowan. That is why. So this is the third book, and it follows right after what happens in Crown of Midnight. That's up there. I'm not pulling it down. And Chaol sends Selena, after he finds out who she is, to protect her because you know she's Fae, to Wenzelin, which is one of her like great aunts. And after that, he finds out that she is like, you know, Queen Princess Elena, the Queen Ciceressin, and Chaol's like my little baby, and I love him, and it just makes me so sad. I know everyone hates him, and I know people say like, you know, Selena's not an assassin, but let's go back to Crown of Midnight. The way she killed Archer and a shit ton of other people when she was trying to save Chaol, so fucking fight me. I cannot wait to read this as well. So let's go on to my TBR jar. You know, my Just Keep Swimming one. Put it all back in. Can't believe it. Why is this button in my room? The One. Ooh, I have those books right here. So, I'm in the mood for some trashy books, and so let's pull out the selection. Selection is Selection is 326 pages, but you can fly through this because of how like good and trashy it is at the same time. So The One has to go back in because, you know, the selection is the first book. So it basically says this: for 35 girls, the selection is the chance of a lifetime. The opportunity is to be swept up in a world of glittery gowns and priceless jewel, to live in a palace and compete for the heart of gorgeous Prince Maxim. But for America's singer, being selected is a nightmare. It means turning back on her secret love with Aspen, who is a case below her, and leaving her home to enter a fierce competition for a crown that she doesn't want. Then America meets Prince Maxim. Gradually, she begins to realize that the life she has always dreamed of may not compare to the future she never imagined. I haven't read these books in like a couple of years, but I remember I was trash for them. So I'm excited now. They're trashy, but they're really good. So I might read Harry Potter first, and then go into the selection, and then Warcross, and then my other big books. But yeah, wow, this is like a good reading month. I cannot wait to read this. It's been a couple years. It's like old, messed up, but 35 girls won a crown, the competition of a lifetime. Trashy, but amazing. So those are the 6 books I plan on reading in the month of November. I always add more. I always add books that are not on my TBR. But then, you know, people always do read-alongs. And I'm trash for read-alongs because I just like reading with people. So that is all for today's video. I'll be leaving here 2 videos I feel like you guys should honestly go check out. I post Mondays and Thursdays. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys Thursday with a book haul. Bye, guys.